So I almost didn't make this video. Boy, oh boy, did I not feel like crafting. And I think when we get overwhelmed in life, it easily happens that our creative side is the side that ends up getting left behind. And so I was thinking of what to do for this collaboration, and the theme came to us, why not have the theme of keep it simple? Now, one of the things I decided to do was to go back to some old cards, back when I really first started card making, and taking a look at some of the simple techniques I tried because I wasn't so experienced in card making. And I realized very simple supplies went a long way, and I created some of the most beautiful cards I've ever created in just a few minutes with 5 simple supplies. So I decided to challenge myself today to use those 5 supplies and get going. So let's go.
So let's chat about those 5 supplies that we're using in today's video. Paper, removable adhesive tape, inks, any sort of solid stamp, and a blending tool. That's it, that's all. I'm going to be using as well the same combination of inks here, Seedless Preserves, Mermaid Lagoon, and Salvaged Patina. I wanted to check out this new Tim Holtz color and how they blended together, and this was a combo that I found on Pinterest that I thought would look really great. I'm also going to go through a few different ways to blend things to make things interesting, but still sticking with those 5 supplies. You'd be amazed how different your cards can look depending on how you layer up your inks. So I'm going in a circular motion, starting off the cardstock or on top of the tape itself, and going into the cardstock and creating a really great blend. I like to go back and forth between the colors, and I wanted to show you here while doing this that my Salvaged Patina and my Seedless Preserves are super juicy at the moment. And you'll notice that my Mermaid Lagoon, the color in the middle, is actually pretty dry. This is how you can determine that you need a refill on your inks, is when it's taking longer to build up the color. It still works, but it definitely could use a bit of a refill. My favorite part about masking and ink blending is taking off the tape here and seeing all of the results. Be sure to hang on to that tape though, because we can use it for a variety of the other cards in today's video too. That pretty pop of color over on the left of the card creates an awesome focal point, and surrounded by all that pretty white space, it definitely pops. My next suggestion on how to switch up your ink blending is to create a diagonal across the paper. I am going to step this up as we go as well. Also, don't forget that another way you can switch up the ink blending here is I could try out the order of colors in a different way as well. As long as the 2 colors don't mix to make brown, they should look great together as well. So now I'm just pulling off the tape to reveal my space. Now, I thought it was looking a little bit too small, so I decided to mask off another area here. I probably should have switched my tape around from left to right here, and now you can try going from purple to blue on the alternate side, so have the purple coming from the right instead of the left this time to switch things up a little bit. And as I said, if I had put the purple where the purple was supposed to go, then my Salvaged Patina wouldn't have a little bit of tinge of purple in there, but that's okay, no big deal. And again, feel free to add a 3rd stripe. Things always look great in 3s, so why not? What I love about Oxides though is that they have time to buffer out. They're not permanent right away, so I can buff out any of that color, that purple that might have been contaminated in there. Now I have this cool striped look all ready to go. Now my next one, I want to know whereabouts the center of my card is, so I marked the front here off at 2 inches, and then I calculated the middle down here on the middle, and I was able to create a center point. And the center point is going to help us line up our masking tape. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my tape from that middle point there with the pencil to the top right corner. And I'm going to do the same on the top left corner. I did a card like this at the very beginning of card making where I did a Northern Lights background, and I had this girl laying in a hammock stamp looking up at the night sky, and I thought it was super cool. So I decided to recreate that look of getting this triangle up at the top. I also decided to try up a different type of ink blend that I had never done before, going in kind of from the sides, from the left and the right, and then meeting up in the middle with the 3rd color. I wasn't a massive fan of this look, so I just decided to buff it out a little bit, adding a little bit more of the blue and a little bit more of the Salvaged Patina coming up from the top. And then I went in a little bit just to keep kind of adjusting and going, and I didn't like that look at all. So I went ahead and added in some more purple towards the top and had a simple purple, blue, and Salvaged Patina. And that's the nice thing about using oxides. With regular distress inks, you wouldn't be able to do that because the ink would have already set into the paper and it would have just been a hot mess. So I had time to work it, and I'm going to go ahead and erase that middle point now as well. Now going ahead with my fourth card here, I added a piece of the removable tape both on the top and on the bottom, and then on the left and on the right. This time I'm creating a frame in the center of my card. Once again, attempting to find a little bit of a different blend here, I decided to go in with the Seedless Preserve Serum both top right corner and bottom left corner, going in with the Mermaid Lagoon, and then the Salvaged Patinas going into the center. So it's almost like using a 5-color blend in a certain way. And I like the way that this turned out as well, something a little bit different, a little bit more than just your standard gradient, but it continues and stops and ends with the same color. Once again, time for the awesome reveal here, and I love the way that it turned out. Of course, you could use a thinner tape, have a little bit less thick of a border if you prefer. Now it's time to finish up these cards. Now, one thing I find that's quick and easy and simple to finish off an ink blended background is either adding a focal point die cut to the card or adding something like a solid stamp. So I'm going to be using a few different solid stamps today, and I decided to choose a variety of stamps that are really inexpensive because they're mini stamp sets. So going ahead and stamping those all in black and stamping multiple times as well in order to get myself the best impression. Now remember, you can switch up your backgrounds as well so that they're not all just a vertical card, but rather a horizontal one. Instead of having the triangle coming up from the top, I decided to put it towards the left. It kind of depended on the stamp set that I was going to be using. But I used this super cute bicycle that I absolutely love. For whatever reason, I feel like little cute bicycles with flowers in the basket always seem to make it into the stamp industry, and I really love the look of them. They're so cute. If you happen to have an issue with when you're stamping the black stamp and it's taking on a chalky appearance due to the Distress Oxide, just hit your background with a little bit of heat to dry it up, and then you can stamp directly on top of it, and that should solve your issue. Another thing you can do to switch up the variety of your cards and make things a little more interesting is instead of stamping either on the white space or within the colored pattern, try adding some stamps that overlap onto both. That looks really cool as well. I have to say, having a solid black stamp on top of a colored background just makes everything pop and look amazing, especially when you have a lot of white space working in your advantage as well. Some of these cards are absolutely stunning, and I absolutely love the way that they turned out, and it was really going back to the roots, which was a lot of fun with that 5 supplies idea. I went ahead and took some sentiments from my supply stash, my little magic cup here. They're from the Tailored Expressions Simply Strips stamp sets that cut out all of these sentiments at one time once I heat embossed them on black cardstock, which is pretty cool and a great time saver. So here is a final look at all of the cards that we created today with the different variety of backgrounds, the different stamps used today, and keeping in mind we just used 5 supplies. You could, of course, just have used one stamp rather than a variety. That would have worked too.
So simple ideas, you can't get enough of them. Head on over to my crafty bestie and crafty wife, Laurel. She is going to be showing you how to do amazing techniques, and you do know that she is the Speedy Gonzalez of crafting. So go check her out because she is a wonder to watch. Thanks for watching. Bye!